Bon après-midi. Alors que nous nous réunissons en ligne aujourd'hui pour parler de la situation en Iran, lors d'une conférence avec des collègues du Parlement européen, nous sommes dans des circonstances totalement différentes de celles d'octobre dernier, lorsque nous avons eu une conférence similaire dans le bâtiment du Parlement européen à Bruxelles sur la politique de l'Union européenne en Iran.
Opposition to the extension of the arms embargo against the regime, inaction vis-à-vis human rights abuses in Iran are not acceptable. Indifference towards constant movement of the intelligence ministry and Quds Force agents in Europe and giving them free hand to do business are all against the interests of the people of Iran and global peace and security. On behalf of the Iranian people's resistance, I propose a policy with 3 elements: human rights for the people of Iran, comprehensive embargo of the religious dictatorship, and recognition of the Iranian people's resistance for freedom and democracy. I urge the Parliament of Europe to urge the Council of Ministers to adopt a binding legislation to expel the Iranian regime's agents from the European soil, shut down the regime's embassies in all EU member states, and designate the IRGC and its proxies in Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, and other countries as terrorist groups. An independent international mission must investigate the massacre of 30,000 political prisoners in Iran and the slaughter of more than 1,500 protesters by Khamenei during the November 2019 uprising. The mission must also investigate the condition of prisons and prisoners in Iran, particularly the political prisoners.
Equal rights before the law in Iran. And that is something that is of the essence, particularly in view of the 2019 uprisings, where at least 12,000 were arrested. There was police brutality and repression, ongoing, always the same issue, repression against dissidents in Iran.
Over the past year, human rights violations by the Iranian regime have been on full display, exposing the mullahs' brutal suppression. The Amnesty International report early September on the torture and treatment of the November 2019 protests detainees is shocking.
The topic of today's conference is very crucial. Indeed, an ongoing crime against humanity is happening in Iran. There has been no considerable improvement in human rights situation, if any, but it has worsened. Executions have never stopped. Lack of freedom of speech and assembly, suppression of women and religious minorities continue persistently.
As we speak about Iran, we were all witnesses of the execution of Iranian famous wrestler Navid Afkari. He was one of many who were sentenced to death based on false accusations, international accusation and torture.